So I'm going to walk you through an intermediate TRX routine, and this routine we're going to be on the clock. Okay, we're going to call this a Tabata workout. Tabata, it looks like the name Tabitha, but without the H, if you're curious about how to spell that. I always use an app, so you can search for and download an app online, either an interval trainer app or a Tabata timer app, and this makes it go so much easier. So you basically set your work period, so we're going to work for 30 seconds for each exercise, and then you can also set your duration of rest. We're also going to rest for 30 seconds for each exercise. So during your work period, your goal as you're doing these exercises is to do as many pretty repetitions as you can in 30 seconds. Don't rush through it. Don't try to go so hard that it starts to look ugly, but also don't take breaks. All you have to do is 30 seconds, okay? You can do anything for 30 seconds, trust me, okay? So I'm going to walk you through it. During the rest periods is when I'll tell you what's coming next and kind of give you a breakdown of the next exercise. So I'm going to start my timer. I'm going to have it sitting over here. Our first exercise is an alternating Cossack lunge. So this is similar to a really deep side split squat. So point your feet super duper wide, relaxed hold on the TRX, and we're just going to go side to side. And you sit so deep that you lift your opposite toes. Okay, so you're sinking down into that squat as deep as you're able to. Keeping both feet flat on the floor. Upright posture, and you're just going to go back and forth between your sides. So we're starting with kind of a hard one here. We're getting it out of the way first, okay? So that was your Cossack lunge. So make sure that you're sinking really deep, working on that hip mobility, going really deep into that side lunge. Those 30 seconds were up. Our next exercise is going to be a row, and instead of doing a row where your palms are facing the floor or facing each other, we're going to have palms facing the ceiling as you do your row, okay? So we're going to get in position. We have about 5 seconds to begin. Walk your feet in, lean back in your TRX, and then go ahead and begin. We're going to keep our elbows right at the sides. You're going to pull up so that your palms end up right beside your chest. Make sure you're not overarching your back. Keep your back in line with the rest of your body. Okay, it's easy to kind of overcompensate your posture and think that you have to arch way forward. Keep your neck relaxed, shoulders down and back, palms are still facing, and we're done there. Okay, so that was an underhand grip row where your palms are facing the ceiling, so that's an underhand grip. Our next exercise, we're going to turn around. So the easiest way to turn around, don't let go of the handles, you're just going to kind of spin. So you're going to raise one arm up in the air, and you're just going to spin. We're going to walk our feet back by the wall. These are going to be flies. So they're similar to our regular chest press, except your arms are going to go out to the side a little further. You want to keep a slight bend in your elbows. Let's go ahead and begin. Slight bend in your elbows. You probably won't feel it there till you're almost all the way out. Keep a strong core. My palms are slightly facing each other, kind of half towards each other, half towards the floor. Using a lot of good posture here. Open at the chest. It almost feels like a chest stretch at the same time as you're falling forward. Last one there, and relax. Next, this is tricky. We're going to go into sprinter starts, okay? So you're actually going to tuck the TRX underneath your armpit. So the way that you fix it, you're going to take your thumb and hook your thumb onto the TRX. So now your hands are holding that a little differently, and we're going to lock it in right at your rib cage. Do not take the handles off of your rib cage. We're going to plant one foot forward. So you're slightly angled forward in that forward leg. Let's begin. We're going to push through that leg to stand up. You always want to keep your weight through that right leg here. So we're going to do this right leg for the whole work period. Really drive up with that back knee as it comes in. Keep your foot flexed as you bring it up. Okay. Those handles are staying right in at your rib cage. If you want to add a little jump, you can. Okay, so that was the end of our 30 seconds. Give yourself a little rest here. Next, we're going to do the left leg for the next work period, so we can get ourselves ready. Slightly forward lean Our weight is through that forward leg. You want to be up on the ball of both feet. Okay. Got about 10 seconds to begin. Make sure your foot is not too far out in front of you where you can't actually push through it. It's almost directly below your hips on the floor. Let's begin. Drive that back knee up and through. Even though right here, my right leg is doing a lot of the motion, it's my left leg, the one that's staying on the floor, that's doing the movement. That's what you're sitting into and then pushing up out of. Sink down and then up and out. Squat into it, then up and out. Staying really straight with my body. Last rep here. Good. Okay, come up out of that. That's a great core exercise or a great leg exercise. We're going to spin around again. I spun the wrong way. You'll probably find that you do that and your TRX ends up getting wound up there. Our next exercise is called a biceps clutch. So you're holding the handles and it's like a row that you pull in right to your chest. So your knuckles will come together as you pull up. Okay, so get into a row position and begin. You're going to pull your knuckles together. Your elbows will point outward. Good posture here. Knuckles together, right at your heart. Squeeze. So it's a variety of a row. It's called a biceps clutch because you mainly are using your biceps here. No, we're not trying to target your biceps. We're just using them, which is good. Okay, last rep there. Okay, our next two exercises are going to be on the floor. They're very focused core exercises, so we're going to get into position. I'm going to lengthen my straps a little bit so that the handles are right at about knee height. And we're going to get into a tall plank. So we'll wiggle the feet on. Okay, so your feet are in the foot cradles. This is going to be a 30-second long tall plank. Tall means up on your hands. And begin, lift your hips. Shoulders are stacked. This is a nice looking plank. Make sure, especially in the TRX, that you're not sagging into your plank. Stay on top of it, okay? So when you're doing planks in the TRX, you always want to think stay on top of your plank, kind of lifting above the plank so that you prevent yourself from sagging. Legs are strong. You can point your toes here. And relax. Carefully come out of it by bringing your knees to the floor. Lift your feet up out of the foot cradles and we'll get in position for the next one. These are kneeling rollouts. So we're bringing the handles right in front of you. Kneeling on the floor with your feet as close to the wall as you can get it. What we want to do for this exercise is maintain a straight line from head to knee. So you kind of have to keep your tailbone tucked under as you hold that straight line. Arms are directly out in front of you and we're just going to fall forward and come back up to vertical. You don't have to bring the handles all the way in. Just bring them to here. Fall forward without losing that flat body. What you'll notice here is that your hips will want to drop towards the floor too far. They'll want to come forward like that. Prevent them from doing that, okay? You got to use a lot of hamstrings, a lot of abs, glutes. And last one here. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to drop one of the handles, or we can also put it in single-handed mode. Okay, when your TRX came, it should have given you instructions on how to put it in single-handed mode, but if that's too complicated, you can just drop one of the handles because it won't slide through. So our last two exercises are power pulls. So I have mine in a single-handed mode. I'm going to hold on. We're going to do the right arm first. Okay, so feet are a little wider than hip width apart. We're going to lean back and away and then come on up. So your goal here, you just kind of sit into a squat, reaching far back behind you. I'm going to pull hard with my right hand. My right arm to reach as high up those straps as I can. Okay, so my right arm is yanking here, really pull hard. And at the top, you're rotating your body towards that TRX. I'm not just stopping here, I'm going a little further. Let's do a couple more on this side. Okay, so that was 30 seconds on that side, and then we'll take a bit of a breather. We're going to do the left side now, and that will be our final exercise for this circuit. This one's nice because you don't have to get into a different position. You're already there. Don't change your feet stance because you already found it for the first side, so you don't want to have to find it again. And ready? Sit back into it, reach really far out behind you, and then thrust your hips forward. Yank with all you've got with that left arm, pulling way high up. So it's called a power pull because you're moving quick with a lot of strength, and that's what turns it into power. Pull hard, reach high. Pull hard and reach high. Couple more here. Let's go one more rep. And there we go. Okay, so we made it to the end of the circuit. Take a break there. Take about a 1 to 2 minute breather, and then you're going to start over and do that whole circuit.